Unicorn is a company startup that has a valuation of $1 billion. 1 billion with today's rate, it is 8,000 crore. You have 105 unicorns in India, which have a valuation of 8,000 crores. The total valuation of startups in India is $350 billion. That's why I said I called it as a out-of-box idea, new innovation. And 34% of the startup owners are sisters. And 69% of Mudra beneficiaries are again women. That is the empowerment of women happening in this country. Various, the Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. The other day I was in Maharashtra. One lady met me. She was telling about our success story. She a graduate. Then she started selling that cow dung. She collecting cow dung. She collected. It's a startup. You might laugh at me, laugh at her, but that's a fact. She started collecting cow dung, kg 1 rupee, 1 rupee a day. Then she started composting, buy some worm somewhere, and with a investment of with a little time and investment of 4 rupees, she created compost, which she sold at 21 rupees. She's selling at 21 rupees a kg. You tell me, what is the profit on 1 kg? 17 rupees. And she started saying, see, I bought this car, Innova, 28 lakhs. I built that house, 1.5 crores. The success story. There is new innovative. There is a intellect in India's youth. There is a huge potential. The only thing is, you need to take out that potential and put on a right. That is what Narendra Modi ji is doing. When there are many employment schemes. I was just mentioning about that. My friend Chandu Samaswara Garu will give you more details on these things. There are many such innovative things. And that was all welfare and development. So there is a very famous quote of John F. Kennedy. It is not that in America is rich because of which America built roads. America became rich because it built roads. America ధనవంత దేశం కాబట్టి రోడ్లను నిర్మించలే. అమెరికా రోడ్లను నిర్మించింది కాబట్టి ధనవంత దేశం అని చెప్పారు. అందుకే the initial focus was of the government was investment on infrastructure. Under Bharatmala, first phase and second phase, almost 11 lakh crores have been invested, and you can find everywhere in the country, any corner of the country, you will find 6-way highway, 6-lane highways or expressways. There are 27 expressways in the country. I'm also in charge of UP. There are 6 expressways. Now, why are you getting with a highway? So 139 kilometers of outer ring road can change the landscape of entire Hyderabad, can double the valuation of Hyderabad. You can imagine 1,20,000 kilometers of highways have been built in the country. That is the reason why the GDP of the country has gone up so suddenly. And see, investment, GDP goes up. It has interlinking effect. It is cascading effect. See, you invest more, you create connectivity, investment comes. If there is a connectivity and investment, the industry comes. There is a investment, there is a industry, there will be employment generation. There is a tunnel between the Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. It's just 10.89 kilometers of tunnel. Before that, this was built, it was not all-weather road. You know what is the situation of Jammu Kashmir during winters? It was not all-weather road. Just because of 11 kilometers, it has become all-weather road because of the tunnel. And every day, the time saved is 1 hour 45 minutes. Now you can pass that entire stretch in 45 minutes. The distance has come down. And thus you are saving oil consumption every day, the worth 24 lakh. 24 lakh into almost 7.5 crores a month. You can imagine. The Delhi Bombay road is 1300 kilometers before. It used to take 24 hours. I too traveled when I was not affording flights. It took 24 hours. Now with express highway, the travel time is coming down to 12 hours. So it's saving of 12 hours of travel time. So 12 hours of travel time save is 12 hours of fuel saving. You can imagine. And the total investment on that particular road is 90,000 crores. The recently RBI said 1 rupee spent on infrastructure will create 2.75 rupees next year. That's how the project completes with an investment of 90,000 crores. Immediately the valuation goes up and it is 2,20,000 crores. And whatever amount you are spending, the valuation is going up, the amount you are spending will come up in the form of toll again. It is not just road. Because of that, you are giving boost to steel industry, because you need 5 crore tons of steel, an equal amount of cement, and almost 250 skilled civil engineers and administrative staff, and 25,000 skilled labor and machinery. These are all allied activity, economic activity. Once the road passes through area, the area will prosper. There will be economic activity. Some hotel will come up. Some that will lead to some tourist destination. So entire economic activity builds up around that road. I'm talking about 1230 kilometers of Delhi-Bombay highway. That is the situation in India now. That is the transformation I'm talking about. Friends, coming to budget, that is the reason Modi's focus has always been on infrastructure. Under Gati Shakti, in the next 5 years, he intends to spend 111 lakh crores. See, I'm talking about 1 lakh crore you investing on something, that value is going up by 2.5 times. And you're investing 111 lakh crores. You can imagine the value. So 2.5 times it is going up. So whatever you are spending, that will come back to you. That will come back to the future generation. This all valuation, whichever is going, whatever investment you are making, whatever amount you are spending, is a creation of wealth. You are creating wealth for next generations. That is what Modi ji is doing. That is what the vision Modi ji has for this country. That is why, so I wanted you to know this. Then my friends can explain more on budget. This is the reason why Modi ji is spending out of 45 lakh crores of budget. It's a 10 crore is capex, capital expenditure. And the states put together, it is coming to 13.7 lakh crores, which is 4.5% of the total GDP of the country. And there are 7 verticals which the Gati Shakti is focusing on: roads, railways, ports, airports, energy, such thing. Apart from this, the government of India is also spending, in its budget announced 75,000 crores for critical transport infrastructure projects, and also like airports. It is adding 50 new airports now, and it is adding 500 Vande Bharat trains now. It is modernizing 1,250 railway stations into world-class railway stations now. You feel like the moment you enter into the railway station, you feel like you are in airport. Earlier, మూసుకొని పోయేవాళ్ళం, ముక్కు మూసుకొని పోయే పరిస్థితి ఉంది. రైల్వే స్టేషన్ వెళ్ళాలంటే బాధపడే పరిస్థితి ఉంది. మీలో చాలా మంది ఫ్లైట్లు ఎక్కుతున్నారు లేదు, నాకు తెలియదు, ట్రైన్ ఎక్కుతున్నారు లేదు, అది పరిస్థితి ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు ఆ పరిస్థితి మార్చడం కోసం, బేసిక్ కమ్యూనిటీస్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం కోసం సౌకర్యాలు క్రియేట్ చేయడం కోసం, మంచి లాంజ్లు పెట్టడం కోసం ఎయిర్పోర్ట్ని మోడర్నైజ్ చేసే ప్రయత్నం కూడా చేస్తున్నారు. ఇది కాకుండా అర్బన్ డెవలప్మెంట్, అర్బన్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఫండ్ కింద కూడా 10,000 crores పెట్టడం. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ అమృత్ is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. This the government of India spent 77,000 crores for the past 8 years to create amenities in the municipal areas, to create amenities in the 2-tier and 3-tier areas. There are 100 smart cities, that's a different thing. But you need to have a good bridges in 2-tier, 3-tier cities. You need to have a good sanitation facilities. You need to have a good water facilities. You need to have a good recreation facility like parks, other things in the 2-tier, 3-tier town also, because people live in 2-tier, 3-tier towns also. The focus has been shifted from urban to semi-urban to 2-tier, 3-tier. The focus is already been there on villages. So what he's trying to do is focus on urban, focus on semi-urban, focus on 2-tier, 3 municipalities, also focus on the rural side. So boost the economy of every sector of the country. That is what happening in the country. Friends, when I talk about MSMEs, employment, I cannot just leave MSMEs, because MSMEs are like agriculture, the backbone of Indian economy. You know, there are 63 million MSME units in the country. 63 million అంటే 6,30,00,000. And 111 million people are dependent on MSMEs, that is creating employment. అంటే 11,10,00,000. 6,03,00,000 MSME యూనిట్లు, దాని మీద ఆధారపడి పనిచేస్తున్న వాళ్ళు 11,10,00,000. ఎంఎస్ఎంఈస్కి బూస్టప్ ఇవ్వడం కోసం గతంలో పాండమిక్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఇన్వెస్టెడ్ 4.5 lakh crores under ELGS, ఎమర్జెన్సీ లింక్ క్యాష్ క్రెడిట్ స్కీమ్ అని చెప్పి 4.5 crores ఇచ్చారు. దిస్ బడ్జెట్ ఆల్సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ఫ్యూజ్డ్ 9,000 crores, giving a scope for 2 lakh crore of line credit, because MSME people, almost 8% of Indian population is dependent on MSMEs. That is the reason why this particular sector is given so much of emphasis. And friends, PLI, performance linked incentives. Initially it was applied for the solar renewable energy sector. It was the government has given incentives of 16,700 crores last year. This year it is focusing on manufacture. According to a study, the PLI to the manufacturing sector will create a new jobs of 47 lakhs and 2 lakh jobs and 47,000 investment from outside. That is the reason why this PLI scheme is being implemented to all sectors of the country. And Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, it is special emphasis on skill training to lakhs of youth, particularly in new age technology like robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D. Earlier the Mudra focus was on something else. The PMKVY earlier phases were focus was on craftsman skills, then AC mechanism or motor mechanism or something. But this 4.0 has a special emphasis on training people to compete globally with a new age technologies. And some 100 such training centers are coming up across the country, and these training centers are being sanctioned, being given in engineering college. I wish KLU will also be one of the such training training centers in the country. Friends, there is special focus. Again, the focus, there is a two-way. One is employment generate, help particular sector and create employment. Kisan drones. Kisan drones is basically for a digitalization of, meant for digitalization of land records, and also spraying of pesticide or fertilizers to sort out the problem of labor in the village areas. So thus it will create employment for youth also. The drone sector, new companies will come, The engineers like you will get new training on that. And at the end of the day, a village folk, a guy in a village can operate a drone in that particular village and earn money. This has two-way benefits, help the farmers and also help the youth to get a job. Friends, and there is another focus area is tourism. Tourism, after COVID, many people started going to tourist places. In abroad, foreign countries, they give more importance to the, you must have heard about Stonehenge in London. If you go there, they will charge you 50 pounds. There is nothing. There is a landscape and there are some vertical pillars. They show you and they will charge you 50. And Singapore, if you go to Singapore, there is a forest. It's an artificially created forest in a 50 acres of land. Artificially created. And they will show you, there will be a lion sitting on the tree, the focus light. There will be a tiger sitting on a tree, eating time. There will be a focus elephant and they will charge you 50 Singapore dollars. And India has such a beautiful forest, Tippeswar, Tadoba, Pence. And you have a wildlife to give focus to encouragement for tourism to wildlife. Other day, recently I've been to Hampi. I took my children there. There was one guide with us for one day. He joined us at around 10 o'clock. And after lunch, 4 o'clock, he left us. He charged 3,500. I was also okay because he was explaining everything. He was with us all through, well-mannered boy. Then I asked him inquire about it. He was speaking a little bit of English also. Then I asked him. He said, sir, I studied up to 10th class. When did you join? Sir, we took a training because many foreign people come here. So I need to interact with them. So that's how I learned a manageable English. So I managed with them. Then Indians, they give a tip of like you. They charge me 3,500, I gave a little more. They give at times, they give 100 rupees as a tip. That's so, he said, season is only 6 months, sir, but even if I get per day, on an average, I earn 4,000 rupees. Even if I get a work for 100 days, it is 4 lakh rupees. So in India, 21 million people are dependent on tourism sector. That is the focus that 50 tourism destinations are being developed as a tourist hub in the country. And friends, India, just now, Parthasari Verma garu was saying that India was always been a developing country. Because we were dependent on other countries. For each and everything we were dependent on. For fertilizers, yes, you don't have resources here, you must have to depend on somebody. Petrol, yes, you don't have resources, yes, you should. But on small things also we used to dependent on other countries. It was always been a country of imports. Now transformation is as such, India has become country of exports now. So far $686 billion worth of products have been exported out. That's a different issue. It's $450 billion are from service sector. But the noteworthy thing is $50 billion of agriculture products are being exported to other countries. India is also focusing on exploration and production of oil reserves. $58 billion dollars have been invested on that, and we are also investing and we're also bidding for a Sakhalin in Ukraine to get oil. And you know about our foreign policy. I don't have to tell you how India is being looked at, why India is being watched enthusiastically. There is one reason. There is a Morning Consult, one organization which is a digital intelligence platform. It conducts a survey periodically. Hope I am not boring you. Hope I am not boring you. There's two things. If you are not clear, then I will speak for half an hour more, assuming that I am not boring you. Okay. See, this is a Morning Consult. Periodically, for the post-pandemic, every 6 months it conducts a survey, global. There are certain parameters they conduct basing on that surveys. But past 6 years, the second place, Biden was in the second place. Then Germany Chancellor was second survey, Merkel went to second place, Netanyahu went to sixth place, or Australian Prime Minister. But all the common place, first place was, all in 6 surveys was Narendra Modi. The recent 4 days back there was a survey. He topped the list with a 78%. Then second came Mexican Prime Minister with 68%. There was a difference of 68. So you can imagine it's a great sense of honor for all Indians that the Indian Prime Minister is being acknowledged as the global leader on international area by all the countries. That's a great honor. There's a great honor for all Indians, all of us. He is creating a future for India. He is creating a future for future generations. He is creating a wealth for future generations. Friends, that's why there is a okay. Speed and scale. I just conclude with this. Now, initially, I thought concluding time is 5. I thought they want me to speak up to 5 o'clock. No, the entire program has to go up to 5 o'clock. Sorry, I mistook that. The speed and scale. See, any Prime Minister, any Chief Minister, any person who is at the helm of affairs makes schemes. He announces schemes. But the person, only that person who has a will, political will, who has a conviction, who wants to see his nation to excel, will implement it. That is what Mr. Modi is doing. Speed and scale. Now the 37 kilometers of highways are being built on every day. Earlier it was only 11 kilometers. And housing, 11,000 houses are being built. At the rate of 300 square feet, 33 lakh square feet of carpet area is being built every day in India. And rural roads, 7 lakh, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, 7 lakh houses have been built. And airports, there were only 76 in 2014, now there are 156. Now 50 more airports are being added. Metro, there were only 8. Of course, that scheme was initiated by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the BJP government. I don't want to go into politics, but 8 to 27 metro cities are being done. And then AIIMS, there were only 6 AIIMS now, 22 AIIMS. See, a simple thing, providing tapped water to every household. In 60, 70 years of Indian independence, we could provide only tap water to only 3,20,000 crores. Mr. Narendra Modi announced a scheme, Jal Jeevan Mission, of providing a tapped water to every household. In the last 3.5 years, 7.2 crore. In 70 years, it is 3.2 crore houses. We could cover 7.2 crores houses in just 3.5. That is why I am saying it needs willpower, and I don't want to go into a devolution of funds and other thing. And since you are all youth, you always on phones, broadband. You know what can broadband, internet can bring the change in our lives. The villages were all deprived of broadband connections all these years. There were only 59 gram panchayats which were provided with a broadband connection. Now 59 villages. Now the number has gone up to 1,95,000 gram panchayats. That is the sea change, and medical colleges 300 to 560. You know, village farmer can see the market, which market, where I can get remunerative prices for my product. And the student can see, the school going students also can see which university I can choose sitting at home, because you have internet connection. It is all changing everybody's lives, and it has a huge impact on everybody's life also. And a small issue, I was talking about infrastructure. The electrification, electric trains. Slowly we have diesel trains, locomotive to diesel to now electric. Now, of course, we are moving little further. Maybe in the future we'll use electric vehicles also, trains also. The electrification, overall the Indian electrification is 85,000 kilometers of electrification now. Out of 85,000 kilometers of electrification, 67,000 kilometers has been done in just the past 7 years. That is the speed and scale I was talking about. Friends, there are many such things. Then since I'm getting alerts from my friends, I'll try to. But I see, all why I was telling all this is India is a bright star, despite all challenges of diversity and being a world's largest population. But still, despite all these challenges, the India is poised to become a third largest nation by the end of this decade, and second largest nation maybe when we achieve 100, when we celebrate our 100th Independence Day. Maybe I don't know how many of us will be there to see that, to celebrate 100th Independence Day, and also to see India becoming a second largest economy, and also in the process of becoming a Vishwaguru. But you will also be there. We will always be there. I want you all to be a part in nation building. That's all I have to say. Then when we meet next time, we hope management will invite me some other time also on some other subject. Wishing to see you in future also, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir, for clearly explaining the highlights of the Union Budget 23-24 and also giving us a glimpse of post-COVID era financial conditions.
Thank you, sir. Now let's listen to Mr. Chandu Sambasu Garu about Union Budget of 2023 and 24. Before we listen, let's go through the profile. In the professional front, he is a member from AP Real Estate Regulatory Authority. He is a management consultant of Booz Allen and Hamilton. He worked as a senior manager of Align 360. He also worked as an IT manager of Choice Hotels International. He is acting as a lead software engineer from Cable and Wireless, an adjunct professor for Nova CC Systems, senior engineer in National Aeronautics and Space Administration NASA, space scientist ISRO. Coming to his political front, he is an official spokesperson of AP BJP, and he contested as an MLA candidate from Dugirala constituency. Coming to his educational qualifications and certifications, he is PMP certified and done his MBA from Johns Hopkins University, MS from University of Maryland at College Park, and MS from University of Kentucky at Lexington. He done his BE from NIT Surathkal. Coming to his awards and recognitions, he is a senior PE from Engineering Council of India, gold medalist from Government of AP for meritorious service to Indian Red Cross, Performance Excellence Award for work done with Department of Defense, and he has won Who's Who in VIP management professionals and executives and professionals. He has many awards and scholarships during his school, college, and universities days. So we are very glad to hear from you, sir. We'll hand over the session to you.
Thank you, Ma. That's such a nice introduction. Good evening, all of you, especially dignitaries on the dais. Dr. Parthasarathy Varma Garu, the Vice Chancellor of this university, Dr. Hanumantarao Garu, Dean Student Affairs, our senior leader, who spoke so well on so many things. Literally, we don't have to do much now, thanks to his forceful speech, Sri Y. Sachkumar Garu. And we are going to listen to the professional chartered accountant, Lankar Dinakar Garu, right after me. And I want to thank all the faculty members, students who are here, who took their valuable time to listen to this discussion and be part of the evolving story of India. And I want to especially acknowledge a very senior management consultant, your adjunct professor, Dr. MC Das Garu. He came here, he came a bit late, and it's very difficult to speak in front of him and also convince him. As a student, I'll try to do my level best, sir. And he knows the nuts and bolts of what we speak, what is being said here, and how to make budgets, and what goes into the budget, and what comes out of a budget. And when the leaders of our nation, Narendra Modi ji and Sitharaman Garu, when they termed this budget a transformative budget, what it really means. We all know, once a baby is born, he grows. He grows into adolescent, young man or young woman, and then an adult, and then finally old age, and the end. So this is a human, or for any living organ, this is the life cycle. This is a transformative life cycle, one cycle, and we don't know if we get the next cycle, but it happens once. But for a country which is a living organ without an end, hopefully, and these cycles do happen, and we are in the first cycle. In the first cycle, we have completed 75 years of free India, freedom, and we are into the Amrit Kal, the fourth quarter of free India, of the first century. In the first 100 years, we are in the fourth quarter. So, Narendra Modi ji and his team, they thought about it. They wanted to make this transformation smooth, good, useful for everybody, and also this should happen at a faster pace for us to expand our economy and be a world leader, world guru, Vishwa Guru. We don't want to call ourselves leaders, or we don't want to call ourselves superpower, because the moment you say power, it also comes with some negative connotations. We are not after that. We are for a position in the world where India is looked upon as an elder brother or as a guru for advice, help, and guidance. So that's where India eventually wants to be. For us to be there, how are we going to transform this large country going forward, especially in the coming 25 years, in the Amrit Kal? So with this question in front of them, Narendra Modi ji and his team, they have selected 7 priorities. Whatever we do, we have to keep the following as our priority. I will list them briefly. The first and foremost is, whatever decisions we make, whatever money we spend, however we spend, it has to lead to inclusive growth. Inclusive growth. It's not the growth of Andhra Pradesh or growth of Gujarat or growth of West Bengal. It's not the growth of a particular section of the people, a particular segment of the people. So geographically, sections wise, segments wise, classes wise, however you look at it, it has to help each and every person across the nation, across the country. So it has to be an inclusive growth leader. Our decisions should lead to inclusive growth. That's our first priority. Then they also laid down the second priority as, whatever we do, obviously it will give good results. That's why we are going to do it. But the results should reach the last man in the line, the last person in the village, the last person in the remotest of remote places of our hill areas. So he should also get the benefits of this budget, of our thought process. Then the third priority they selected as, we don't want to just talk. As Satyakumar ji said, we have to create assets, we have to create infrastructure, we have to create assets that help us work. Eventually, like Adam Smith said, what is the wealth of a nation? Wealth of a nation is what the citizens contribute in the form of work. So when we have work, when all of us have work, when we can do a smart work, when we can do smart work, productive work in an efficient way, that means our country is working, our country is contributing, we are all contributing to the economy of our country. That is the wealth of our nation. That means we should help every citizen to find a place to work, find a place to work effectively, find a place to work in a useful way for himself, for his family, for his society, for his village, for the state and for the country. So this should be our priority. And that's why infrastructure becomes the roads, the transportation systems, the railways, the airports, the communication systems, the waterways, the seaports, all these things become important because whatever we produce, whatever we serve using these vehicles, these infrastructural elements. So they wanted to keep that as a priority in the budget. And then the fourth priority they selected was unleashing the potential of everybody. Everybody here is gifted, no doubt about it. Whether you have 8.0 as your GPA, 7.0 as your GPA, 10 on 10 as GPA, but we are all gifted in our own ways. So Narendra Modi ji and his team has identified that as a priority. Because everybody is gifted, everybody should get equal platform, equal opportunity to work, to earn a livelihood, to work and to take care of his families, take care of his communities and take care of the country. So that is our priority. So we are not going to create assets for some people. We are not going to create universities or institutions for some people. We are going to create institutions for everybody so that depending on their interests, they come forward, they take advantage of those institutions, they skill themselves and they become more employable, more entrepreneurial, more productive, and thus making this country richer, wealthier. And then the fifth priority they selected was green growth. Whatever we do, we don't want to hurt the environment because it's not ecologically friendly, it is not sustainable. We want to take care of the environment. We want to take care of our farms. We want to take care of our animal husbandry. We want to take care of the general environment overall so that our rivers, our oceans, our seashores, all that we take care of so that it's not for this century, this 10 years or 25 years, it is for time to come. It has to be a sustainable idea. Whatever we do, whatever way we want to develop our country, it has to be in a green way. Green growth has become one of the priorities. And then the youth power, of course, like Satyaji said, about 57 to 60% of this country's population is young. Young in the sense, in the employable working age group. 60% of this country, out of 140 crores, now you know what is 60%. That many people can work. It's larger than European Union. It's larger than America. It's larger than North America, South America put together. Such a big population, such young population, and I think we have to take care of them. We have to involve them in building this country, in making this economy bigger. Finally, they also understand just because we have good intentions, just because we want to do good things, the financial systems, the way we account ourselves, the way we are accountable, the way our systems are accountable, the way we take care of the financial system also needs to undergo changes, transformation through reforms. Wherever and whenever reform is required, whenever we see a hurdle, whenever we see a difficulty, whenever we see our financial system not working, we want to take care of it by reforms, through reforms. So that is the seventh priority. Think about it. I'm sure some of you are in final year, maybe PG, post-graduation. Some of you are business students. Some of you are directly students of Dr. Das. I want you to think about these priorities. Why they want this list on the board and then do the other things. We can do a lot of things. In the past governments have done budgets. They have done budgets. Every time they do a budget, it's a different budget. They have no link to what they have done 2 years before, and they have no link to what it is going to be after 2 years. They're all disconnected chunks of budgets, chunks of planning, but not a continuum. Here we want to create a continuum with 4 principles, 4 priorities, these 7 priorities in coming years, coming decades. So this is important for us also as individuals. We don't want to take random decisions just because it is good. We want to take decisions that are sustainable. We don't want to take a decision and leave it because we are not able to reach the goal within that time frame. We want to take a decision and we want to keep the option to make the decision changeable, reformable, so that ultimately we reach our goal. So that's what is going on in the planning side, priority side. With these things on mind, they have created the budget. Of course, the budget is a huge activity, multidisciplinary activity involving thousands and thousands of experts. In 1 hour or 2 hours, we or nobody can go into the details of the budget. What Sachikumar has done is, he has touched upon the aspects, the sectors, various sectors of our society, how it is going to be impacted. The details can be found in the documents. You can all download and go through the document if you are interested in a particular sector. As far as the task given to me for today's discussion is, everybody is asking what is in it for me. We as students, we as professional students, definitely we also want to ask the government, how are we going to do, how are you going to develop the budget, what is in it for us? So that question I'll try to answer in the next 5 to 10 minutes because we don't have a lot of time. So I need help. I don't know how much time I used. After 5 minutes from now, somebody will know who is the leader. Somebody will raise a hand indicating it's 5 minutes up. And after 7 minutes, one more person will raise the hand asking me to close. Will you do that? Whoever does is going to be the leader. Okay, there is a prize for him or her. Okay, what is in it for us? Professionals, students, youth of this country. Well, we want, well, most of us, some are entrepreneurial, some want to be on their own, start their own concerns, enterprises, and through MSME on that channel, they will take advantage of Startup India, Make in India, Stand Up India, and all those things. And I'm not going to address them right away because Satyaji has touched the MSME sector. I'm going to talk about bulk of us who are necessarily not trying to start our own enterprises at this point. We may do it at a later point. We are looking for employment, let us say, gainful employment. Obviously, only academic record will not help. We need skills. What you know is not that important in real workplace. What you can do with what you know is going to be important. How smart you are going to do, what you are going to do with what you know is ultimately what counts in performance. So what is that we are going to do? It depends on our skills. In bachelor's degree, in master's degree, probably 50 or 60 different courses. We have completed 60 courses, but not all 60 courses are of our interest. They are foundational courses. We may like 1 or 2 courses. 1 or 2 courses are also 2 large areas of knowledge. So 1 or 2 ideas probably we like. Identify those areas and try to develop skills in those areas, and then you will be employable very easily. So it's not that you have to repeat the entire course once again before going for the interview. First of all, what type of interview you are going for, whether it is of your liking or not. If it is of your liking, are you prepared? Are you skillful? Do you have the right skill set? If you can assess yourself, then you can go for the interview, and I'm sure you'll be selected. You'll be successful in the job. Okay. From the government side, government is willing to skill whoever wants to be skilled through skill development programs. And we have created a national apprenticeship program in this budget. It's a continuous program. It's being continued once again. 47 young professionals, professional students, 47 lakhs of them are going to be supported through skill development programs. When I say professional, don't just limit yourself to engineering or medicine. Any profession, if you want to be a professional in that, you have to be skilled and you have to be smart. All those people come under professional training programs. Anybody whoever is trying to do handicrafts, they are very skillful, they are very professional in their work. They also get trained in a professional way. Then PM Pradhan Mantri's Kaushal Vikas Yojana, through this program, they are going to offer, they are going to link, or they are going to create a database of employers and people who are looking for employment, and it is a matchmaking effort at the nation level. We don't have it right now. Whatever we have is hodgepodge, and going forward, every student and his aspirations will be listed, his skills will be listed, and similarly, all the employers, including MSMEs, will also be listed. If they need some type of a person, this matchmaking will be done through the database systems, because we can afford to develop such a system now. And then we are going to develop National Digital Library out of this budget. What it means is, if you go back to your father or your grandfather, if you ask them, your village, my village, all villages had some sort of library, a public radio, a public facility where people used to come, sit, read, discuss. Unfortunately, in the last 2-3 decades, we lost that culture, and most of the villages do not have libraries now. So if you want to read something out of your curriculum, away from your curriculum, where do you go? Because you are in a gifted university, you are in KLU, you can go to the library and probably you have access to other books too. But if I am living in my village, I don't have access to good quality material, and I don't know where to go, where to look for. I don't have a library in our village. So, recognizing this difficulty, Narendra Modi ji is going to create, this budget has created space to create a digital library with whatever content you can think about. It's all in digital format, not in the form of books, digital. That means every village is going to be supported to have a physical library where we can access the digital content. I think that's going to revolutionize every village, every ward, every town, every city of this country. That's a welcome move which helps youth to make themselves better. Then we are going to create 3 centers of excellence for artificial intelligence. How many of you are into artificial intelligence, directly or indirectly? I noticed you, Amma. You are my star. Okay, I have 2 more minutes. Okay, how many of you are into artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is going to touch every aspect of our life, our work life, our business life, our future. And if you are not reading about it, read about it. No matter what branch you belong to, what line of education you are into, but it is going to affect you. We are going to be touched, and we are going to work directly or indirectly on the systems working with artificial intelligence going forward. That is why Government of India is going to create 3 centers of excellence, and we are going to revamp the teacher training programs oriented around skills, not necessarily theoretical portion alone. And we are going to create 157 nursing colleges. We have created 157 colleges in the last 8 years, medical colleges. To support those doctors, we need paramedical and nursing staff too. So we are going to create 157 nursing colleges going forward. That means India is going to be the human resources hub, not only for technical people, not only for other professionals. We are going to be world leaders. We are going to be the suppliers. We are going to be the source providers of medical professionals, doctors as well as nursing staff. So that's going to be the next phase, next opportunity for India. And we want to promote research in healthcare. We want to promote both governmental as well as private organizations to do medical research, so that you identify the problems, and we are here to solve those problems, and solving those problems is our job. That is how we are going to create jobs for ourselves going forward. And on I can talk about what are the opportunities for youth in the form of lab. I think one important thing I have to mention before I close, artificial intelligence, and we all heard about 5G in telecommunications, right? 5G networks, and with 5G we can do wonders. Quantum leap, it's a quantum leap from what we saw from first generation to now. So there are going to be 100 different labs across the country. I don't know, KLU may also compete for that, and KLU may also get a lab dedicated to development of 5G applications and 5G resources. And then all these things will be supported in the budget, through this budget, and all these things are going to be supported more and more in coming budgets. And through these activities, by skilling our youth better, and we are going to position them as employable or as entrepreneurs, and helping our economy and helping this country reach its goal, its ultimate goal of being Vishwaguru. We have come from nowhere to third place to 3 trillion economy now, and fifth in the world. And from here we have to go to the next level, 5 trillion economy, and from there we have to go to the third position, second position, hopefully the first position meaning 45 to 50 trillion dollar economy. Once the avalanche starts, there is no guessing. So we don't know. We could be the largest economy in the world by the time we complete Amrit Kal. That is, by the time we reach our first centenary of freedom. Thank you all for your time. Thank you the management. Thanks to the management also for giving me this opportunity. Other numbers, my colleague, my senior chartered accountant, Sri Lanka Dinakar will highlight, and he will enlighten you with some specific numbers. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for briefing us about the history of economical conditions prevailing in India and the need of the hour to provision our country needs. Now, let's listen to Mr. Dinkar Garu about Union Budget 2023. Before we listen, let us go through the profile. Mr. Lanka Dinkar Garu is economic and financial expert. He is chartered accountant. He has 20 years of experience in accounting and political matters. At present, he is Pramukh of Andhra Pradesh BJP Political Feedback Department. He is also working as BJP panel media member for national TV channels to participate on Budget 23 and discussions, and he is member for AP BJP Union Budget 2023 Committee. Mr. Dinkar Garu is also member for AP BJP Issues Identification Committee. He also worked as chairman of Financial Experts Association. Mr. Dinkar worked as co-convener for Samaikya Rashtra Parirakshana Vedika. Being participated in thousands of TV interviews and debates, he also writes articles and columns in News Bharati, Daily Guardian, New Indian Express, and Andhra Jyoti, etc. With this brief introduction, now I would like to invite Mr. Lanka Dinkar Garu to deliver his speech.
Before start, to create some spirit, let you say all slogan. Bharat Mata Ki! I am very humble and thankful to the Chancellor of KLU, Satyanarayan Garu, Vice Chancellor Sri G. Parthasarathi Garu, Parthasarathi Varma Garu, Dean Hanumantrao Garu. Today, my colleagues and the participants of this workshop, they had elaborately explained the budget and the benefits derived out of those budgets for last 25 years. Sri Satyakumar Garu and Chandu Samshivarao Garu, and dear friends, and future of Bharat in this Amrit Kal. You are all part of this Amrit Kal, and you are the visible leaders of next 25 years, the growth which is going to be exist in this budget, outcomes, whatever which derives. Before that, I would like to speak something in Telugu because the nutshell of the real true spirit we should understand in true sense in our mother language. నేటికి స్వతంత్రం వచ్చి భారతదేశానికి 75 సంవత్సరాలు అవుతున్న ఈ సందర్భంలో నరేంద్ర మోడీ గారు రాబోయే 25 సంవత్సరాలని అమృతకాల్ అని అన్నారు. ఎందుకని అన్నారంటే 2014లో ఆయన అధికారంలోకి వచ్చే సమయానికి 9వ స్థానంలో ప్రపంచ ఆర్థిక వ్యవస్థలో ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ భారతదేశం నేడు 5వ స్థానం వరకు కష్టకాలంలో కరోనా కష్టకాలాన్ని మనం చూసాం, గ్లోబల్ అన్సర్టనిటీని చూసాం, వీటన్నిటిని దాటుకొని ఇవాళ 5వ స్థానానికి రావటం, రాబోయే 3-4 సంవత్సరాల్లో 3వ స్థానానికి వెళ్ళటం, తర్వాత ఈ అమృతకాల్లో 2వ స్థానానికి 1వ స్థానానికి విశ్వగురువుగా భారతదేశాన్ని నిలబెట్టడం. అమృతకాల్లో నేటి విద్యార్థులు మరియు యువత ప్రాధాన్యత అనేది చాలా ప్రాముఖ్యత సంతరించుకున్నటువంటి అంశం. ఎందుకంటే ఈ 25 సంవత్సరాలు ఈ ప్రణాళిక ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇది మీ చేతుల్లో ఉంది, యువత చేతుల్లో ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఈ అతిపెద్ద ఆర్థిక వ్యవస్థ వైపు నడిచే ప్రతి అడుగు కూడా ఈ యువతతోటే సాధ్యం. కాబట్టి మీరే ఆ భవిష్యత్తుకి సారథులు. కాబట్టి ఈ అమృతకాల్ మొత్తం కూడా యువతది, ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి విద్యార్థులది. The motto behind the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji always Antyodaya. Antyodaya means already Chandru Samsharao garu told each and every scheme and benefit shall be translated to the poorest of the poor who are the nooks and corner. He is the last man in the nation, wherever they reside. It should be translated to the last person, all the schemes. And you know that Atmanirbhar, how many people know that Atmanirbhar, the word Atmanirbhar, how many people know? Please raise your hand. Not reasonably not good, because Atmanirbhar, you need to know what is the means of Atmanirbhar, because after Corona uncertainty, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has taken Atmanirbhar as the part of our Indian economy to create indigenous products, to reduce imports as the maximum as possible. Let you see that the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat has created indigenous vaccination. Today, how many you have taken vaccination? Let you raise your hand. Corona, almost all 100%. Almost all, every person has taken vaccination. It is the indigenous vaccination after the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which has been raised as the spirit of our nation by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The first indigenous product is vaccination. Corona vaccination is the first indigenous product after the giving Atmanirbhar as the concept of the future of our economy and inclusiveness of the growth. You all need to know that what is the meaning of inclusiveness of growth. As already Satya Garu as well as Chandu Samsharao Garu told that inclusiveness means it is not the development for a particular group of people, particular sect, particular region. It is inclusiveness means all the people downtrodden to SC, ST, BC, OBC and all set of the communities should get benefits and grow and participate in the future growth of our nation to build economy, world largest economy, to build world largest economy. Everyone should be included. Inclusive growth is the utmost priority for this nation. Today, so many schemes has explained, which was mentioned in budget 23-24 by Satya Garu and Chandu Samsharao Garu. But where is money? This is the biggest challenge we are facing. As being a chartered accountant and well-versed in the financial matters, I would like to present you the where the money is coming, how the money is distributing between the various schemes. Total expenditure out of this budget is 45,03,000 crores. This is a very big budget after the corona pandemic. You know that the uncertainties of tax collections, revenues, because of the challenges we posed on the human lives, we face lockdowns. We don't know how much money is required and how much money should be distributed to the various expenditure on the need basis. We don't know because the huge extent of uncertainty was taken place after the lockdown period. And the global challenges, huge inflation because of petroleum and diesel prices increase. Huge imports are required for our nation for petroleum and diesels. So these are all uncertainties in which the entire world has faced the problem. It is a global challenge in which we are also part in it. Despite of these challenges, we have shown steady economic growth. Because of the vision, the focus, the fact is Atmanirbhar, whatever the package which was announced by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it gave the boost to the economy. Nobody expected that India will sustain after the corona because the huge number of population, how we get surveyed, the entire world, where is the challenge? There are so many people questioned about the future of our nation, but we are better than any other country in the world now because we are in the safe hands under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Today, 45 lakh crore expenditure of this budget, which is 7.5% lower than the previous budget estimation, and the actuals are, it is beauty of our budget for last 8 years. If you have seen, most of the people never speak about the actuals, just they speak about budget, whatever the allocations made, they go. But this is the government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We are visibly telling that whatever the actual expenditure incurred and how many people benefited out of this expenditure. Just as you see that 47 crore people have Jan Dhan account, they got nearly 27 lakh crore rupees worth of direct cash benefit scheme, directly amount transferred to their account. If you see that already our Satyaji told, Jal Jeevan Mission, Har Ghar Jal, 7 crore 25 lakh people safe drinking water tap facility had obtained for these 40 months. It was declared this scheme in the year 2019, August 15. If you see that 100% ODF, 11.7 crore families, rural families, they had constructed their toilets with the assistance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi through the Swachh Bharat scheme. The beautiful thing is the translation of the scheme and the stages of scheme. Once, if you say that 100% of ODF completed, Swachh Bharat completed in that way, so many people has propagated. I have seen one article few days back, one lady wrote, I don't know, I didn't remember who is that woman is. I read that article. She told that very clearly, just if you say that 100% ODF completed by completion of 1,38,000 villages in which 11 crore 70 lakhs toilets, that doesn't mean 100% Swachh Bharat completed in that way. You don't tell. Yes, absolutely, it is correct. She raised the point about what about the water tap connection to the toilet? Yes, it is provided through Jal Jeevan Mission. And then she questioned that scavengers, the lives of scavengers are miserable because under the drain, you know that huge amount of the mud which creates gas and some kind of chemical, anti-chemical smells, and those can spoil the health of the scavengers. She raised that point. Yes, what is the means of 100% Swachh Bharat? We need to safeguard those lives also. Of course, it may appear very small thing while we are discussing, but the lives of each and every human being, whoever they are serving to us, are very important. Honorable Prime Minister has taken decision, man horse to mission horse. That means hereafter, no individual human being should not carry their manual work. Only mechanization is the solution for creating for healthy atmosphere and real target towards the 100% Swachh Bharat. Like that, various expenditures, heads of expenditures, infrastructure expenditure, and health, education, agriculture, all this together, it is getting 45 lakh crore. For which where this money is getting? Receipts to the tax and the various other sources. For the year 2023-24, Union government is getting 27 lakh 16,000 crores, which is 11.7% above the revised estimations of the current financial year 2022-23. And then after the 45 lakh crore is the expenditure, you have the source of 27 lakh crores. Where is the remaining balance? It is raising through debts. Here the point is various people raising their finger towards the government. Why this much of huge amount of the debt? Why this much of huge amount of the interest paid out of the budget is the question is raising by everyone. But they are not seeing the figures of 2014 and the figures of 2023-24. How much amount of the size of budget increased? Almost all double. In such case, any these kind of argument comes, let you see and go for the debt to GDP ratio. That means how much of your debt component in the GDP. If you have observed clearly, the growth of the GDP is very much vital for any economy. Most particularly the developing economy, and our economy is in between developing economy and developed economy. In between we are there. It is that's why Honorable Prime Minister called this 25 years period for the Amrit Kal, to reach from developing to developed nation. It is the Amrit Kal is the very important and pertinent for as far as our Indian economy is. GDP is registered 7% for the current financial year 2022-23, which is higher than any other developed countries in the world. And at the same time, after Ukraine war, there are a lot of supply chain problems happened for goods and services from various countries to get imports. The prices of oil rises, sharp rise of oil prices created for the huge extent of inflation, and COVID at the during the time of the COVID, many countries they distributed money like helicopter money. Some people told that in India also throw money to the people through helicopter, like helicopter money to spend. That was the reason behind the huge extent of inflation happened even in United States. Honorable Prime Minister has taken into consideration during the pandemic in a rightful manner, whoever eligible to get the benefit, whoever to feed the right people, we had provided direct benefit to such people. Like you see that 80 crore people of the PPL family, 5 kgs of rice under Garib Kalyan Yojana free of cost, we are giving to the union government for last 32 months, and it extended further 12 months. It cost around 1.5 lakh crore per annum additional burden on exchequer. But the lives of the human is very important. Lives of the citizens of our Bharat is very important. That's why he has taken that consideration. Then you see that 220 crore doses of the vaccination, which was provided at free of cost, it is the burden on the exchequer. Then you see that how much extent of the national highways was constructed for last 8 years. Since independence till 2014, our national highways in our country is 95,000 kilometers. Now it crosses almost all 150,000 kilometers. Last 8 years, 55,000 kilometers, and the next 5 years, nearly 11 lakh crore worth of projects are undergoing on. Those are in work in progress. And again, 50 to 60,000 lakhs, 60,000 kilometers of new roads are going to be laid. This is the critical infrastructure for which these amount and these debt are being used. Today, real GDP growth is 6.5% expected as far as our country is concerned by IMF. Let you see the internationally other countries, what is their percentage is. India is going to be performed 2023, 24, 6.1% as per IMF. Whereas China growth rate is 5.2%, USA is 1.4%, Japan is 1.8%, France is 0.7%, Russia is 0.3%, UK is 0.6%. Nobody is near to our country as far as the growth is concerned. It is not our figures, it is the figures which was given by the IMF. And then let you see the GDP growth, how it is happening. It is happening even though the huge amount of the recession is going on and prevailing across the globe. Why India is driving towards the growth? Because infrastructure investment and the capital expenditure investment. These two are important components as far as our economy is concerned. Because infrastructure which builds, as Satyaji told, that once the funds pumped into the infrastructure to the extent of the particular project cost that contributes in GDP by means of various materials and services which are involved in that particular project. Once the project gets completed, the utilization of the project will be taken place by means of establishing new industries or any other services. Their employment generation comes, again the product and services which created from that particular enterprises contributes towards the GDP and which contributes the tax collections for the government. The employees, whoever they are getting employment opportunities out of those entities, they are also part of the consumption and again they contribute for GDP. Again, from their contribution, tax collections will be improved to the union government. It is the like cycle. How 1 rupee investment in infrastructure will become 3 rupees for future generation is the cycle is runs in this mode. And as far as the deficit is concerned, because when there is you should have the question that 45 lakh crore rupees is the budget, 27 lakh rupees is the only in the collection to the union government, where this amount of the gap between the collections and the expenditures is called the deficit. The deficit is classified into two parts. One is the revenue deficit and another one is the fiscal deficit. As far as the revenue deficit means, day-to-day operations and schemes of the union government, whatever the expenditure outlay which comes to be put together, it is called as a revenue expenditure. The revenue tax collections and other any operations which carries by the union government through which any proceeds as a receipts comes, it will be considered as a revenue receipts. As far as our nation is concerned, 2023-24, the deficit, revenue deficit has been identified and estimated up to 2.9%, which is lower than previous year, that means the current financial year, which was estimated 4.1%. The present 2022-23, it was, the revenue deficit was estimated as 4.1%. It is going to be 2.9%. That means we are going to improve our revenues, or we are controlling revenue expenditure for the upcoming financial year in this budget as projected by the finance minister. And fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit means overall deficit of the budget. It comes around 5.9% for the current financial year, 5.9% of the GDP, as against to the 6.4% for the year 2022-23. That means we are in that way also debts are under control. We are controlling debts because at 6.4% we GDP we raise maximum level of our debts, whatever it is going to be reduced in next coming year. It is comes around 5.9%. The ministry-wise allocations, important ministry-wise allocations also important, how this money utilized. Whether it comes from revenue of the union government and thus utilizing and serving towards the ministries which provide the future infrastructure, capital asset, which provide revenue generation for future of our nation. Those are, number one, Ministry of Railways. It was observed that the higher this percentage when compared to the previous year is 49%, that is 2.40 lakh crore rupees. And Ministry of Jal Shakti, it is 31%. Exclusively Jal Jeevan Mission to the rural area people, whoever they are residing, to complete 100% of safe drinking water tap facility. 31% hike when compared to the last year. It sees 70,000 crore rupees. And Ministry of Road and Transport, which is and highways, which is higher 25% higher than previous years, almost at 2,25,000 crores rupees are using for transportation and national highways. As far as country's outstanding liabilities are concerned, higher liabilities, you know that which gives negative shade that that will be burden on the next generation as well as the nation as a whole to repay those outstanding liabilities debt. But if you have seen that the central government outstanding liabilities in the year 2012 and 13 was 51%, whereas under the Modi regime, Prime Minister Modi ji regime, it comes down to 48% in the year 2018 and 19. After 2019 and 20, if you see that because of the COVID impact, that has raised, and again a little bit of rise in percentage also up to it reaches 61% in 2020-21. Now in 2021-22 it was reduced to 57%, and the same it is going to be in 2023-24. So by the all these parameters, if you observe that we are in progress, we have to do a lot of things. We have to bear a little bit of allegations and counter allegations, those who are making, but the purpose is driving the nation in the right direction, growth oriented and welfare to the downtrodden people with the objective of Antyodaya. It is the motto of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with this budget. Definitely this budget is the budget of youth, budget of the students. You are all the people who are responsible and eligible for better tomorrow of our Bharat. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on the economic developments of India. It's time to honor and felicitate our guests who shared their wonderful thoughts on Union Budget 23-24. I now request Dr. C.H. Hanumantrao Garu, Dean Student Affairs, to honor Mr. Y. Satyakumar Garu with a shawl and a memento. I now request Mr. Chendu Samasurav Garu to accept our token of gratitude. I now request Lanka Dinkar Garu to accept our honor. Let us wind up the session by singing national anthem. Manaswini. Jaya 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 He.